So my name is Fatima Tuzora. I am currently a doctoral student in material science, engineering, and commercialization. And my pronouns is she, her, hers. And I'm from Bangladesh. So currently I'm living in San Marcos. And my favorite dish for Thanksgiving would be apple pie. Diversity is being different. If I define it that way, it will include every person in the world because every person is different in some ways. Um, but nowadays we see that diversity is focused on like color of skin or where you are born, where you come from, and something like that. Well, does these things do define some kind of like diversity, but it's not a complete package, I think. And yeah, so to me, diversity is different. So two white guys can be different, two black guys can be different, girls can be different. So it is accepting that we all are different and we all have different views.
Um,
If I can go next, Haley just reminded me in a similar situation, but a lot different. It's kind of so my cousins who are all girls, like similar to my ages. So and girls, they had a lighter skin tone than me. So I was kind of like the darker one, and they so because of my skin tone, we our parents would choose different color clothings for me. So like for them, they could wear anything like dark blue or something, and for me it was all like pink or yellow, something like that. And I definitely wanted to wear those colors, and like the adults were not like, no, it would not good look on you, so something like that. So in that case, I faced that uh, the similar situation of Haley, that not thinking of what I want, at least like let me have what I wanted, then like test me for myself, not accommodating my wish or my desire, something like that. Even being on the same country, like it's in a family setup. Okay.
um, I would say that I've been in a lot.
With Kathy, in like totally, I was going to tell the same thing, that I didn't feel like selling, but I felt like there is a difference when I write my statement of purpose when coming into grad school. I definitely needed to focus why I want to come in, and like a little bit my background, like why it is different, and it is definitely a very different and different reasons from other people why I wanted to come in and why this particular engineering background. So it felt like more of a telling, not selling. But I do address that for some scholarships, it requires you to kind of prove that you are diverse, which is ridiculous. I mean, everybody is diverse, different. Well, to be honest, I felt more heard in Texas State University. So it's a positive experience so far for me. And you might be surprised that I have felt that way. Um, like even though I was in my own country in Bangladesh, like till 2018, so I felt more hurt here in Texas State rather than in my own country. Probably because it's like all the people are same. Nobody is exceptional, but we get really like getting people get interested in us. You know, like what's happening while you're here, and how was your hardship and everything. So we get to tell our stories. We get to share, and our international student and scholar services, they do a great job, like bringing all the international students together and kind of like want to know what's happening with us, our feedback and everything we do have to offer. So I felt more heard in Texas State University and said. I don't want to mention the student organization name, but it is a group that I was a part of. uh, there I figured that my voice is not heard. You know, like the people who were there for longer times, who were in the positions like in president, vice presidents, or like officer positions, they were like their thought is kind of getting counted. And as a newbie, my thought was like, what do you know? Something like that. So I didn't felt very inclusive, despite of like those group is not is really like mm, closer to my race, I would say. So there was this lack of inclusion. But I would say that another event was again international student and scholar services. They were recruiting the vice president position. They had like several applicants, and they finalized 4 of them. So a part of the whole process was including a panel of international students. So there I was a part. So we are representing the international students, and we're having lunch with all the participants in a separate meeting, separate setup. So we had to fill up like what we thought about the participant, you know. So as being international student, we are the one who will be receiving the services of that vice president of that office, right? So it is important to include us. It was important, and they did thought about that, and they did brought us there, and it was a really fun and a new experience for us, because we are always on the side of like giving interviews, not actually taking interviews. So it was very fun experience. And so I felt inclusive. I felt my voice. So when we were filling the forms, we were about like 6 international students from different backgrounds. We're filling the forms and we're discussing ourselves like, is this gonna be like at all there? They will look at this? I don't think so. Like, who will have time to go through all these papers and like our feedback? And does it matter? Well, it did matter. And we found that actually one applicant we really liked most, who gave like all the best feedback, and well, she's now the vice president. Yeah, so that was like my both side of experiences. Instructor, like while I was doing my master's, so I was graduate instructional assistant. Now I'm a doctoral assistant. So I need to work with undergrads or other grad students a lot for projects and everything. So I want to say, for example, we had one project for our probability courses, and we had to collect data and like analyze it, write a report, and write a presentation. So for what we did, like the guy who used to commute a lot and he worked 2 jobs. So he was the one, because he worked in a gas station and we needed a car count, how many cars comes in the gas station, something like that. So as he was already working there, we we put him on charge for the data collection, right? So that would be like the easiest thing for him to do for that course. He did that. So and another person, he had experience writing a lot of papers. So we said, well, you do the writing. So that's how I think like diversity and inclusion works for my like small setup. I see that you all guys like have a broader perspective and broader applications set up, but I don't have that much. But again, another thing I want to mention that I am currently president of Society of Manufacturing Engineers. So the student organizations are coming together, kind of like some of the students organization, to work with and to outreach to the 5th grader for a high school. So we are preparing a Boko box where they will have experiments to work with. And the leading role for this project is the biochemistry students. And while we do the meeting with the other students, like from other background, we think way different. Like the engineers thinks differently with the same experiment. You know, like they think where they think of like making models with styrofoam, we are thinking 3D printing the model, something like that. So that was really fun, and to know that how different we think and to come up with. That's how inclusiveness like benefit, right? Ideas from different people. So, well, I guess that answers your question. Thank you. For me, I would say Texas State is already doing a good job about putting jo- uh, sorry, like about diversity and inclusion overall. So, but just doing that, I don't think that's enough because we don't see that always. The other people doesn't see that. For example, you all might get the Tuesday round trip email or grad bulletin email on Fridays every week. So how about including one section of highlighting a diverse a person, like what is his or her achievement, what did she do, what is her background, not like a whole paragraph, just like 2-3 lines, like this is what this is who she is and this is what she achieved. So if you are kind of like this, you can do that too. And secondly, I would say like making videos, like every semester, probably one video at least, like what are the highlighted achievements for the diverse students and how they got supported by Texas State University. That would, when I was looking at Texas Tech website from my home country while I was going through the admission procedures, I was looking at the videos. I was looking what's unique about Texas Tech University. I found our Swell Park, our river, right? These are so unique and different and attractive. And I felt good when I heard people talking about diversity. Well, I knew that if I go to Texas Tech University, I would not be subjected to racial impact, you know. So it was a comfort, it gives comfort to other people who is not here yet. So they will see, well, these are the large group of people who are getting successful in their project. And in a very minimum setup, I would say for the professors, in the engineering, I already see their professors are even from a large diverse background, so they kind of understand. But for others, especially for the American professors, most of the time they don't understand because the international students come from different background. They have different level of struggles going through the coursework. So I understand that there are some supporting system in the university, but being supportive the lecturer himself means a lot to the student, you know. Uh, so like giving the students a little more attention, asking them, are you having struggle, are you struggling with this homework, do you get what I'm telling, that because the students are shy, you know, they just don't want to reveal their like lackings of understandings in front of the whole class. So that's the minimum setup, and but this is being done, so it needs to be flushed out. It needs to be like people needs to see that this is happening in Texas State. That's all. I want to add to Haley. I recently had one American students like frustrating about whole this situation. So what he was saying, basically the summary is, so they put the course as an offline in-person course. That's why they are still here, like renewing their lease and paying the monthly rent. And then the class goes like offline, online via Zoom. So they could basically didn't have to go in person. So they are paying the online fee, and they are again paying the rent and everything, which they didn't have to if they could like live with their parents or something like that. So this is like a double burden. I think they should really come up front with that situation. And getting with this limited access with everything, the undergraduate students really get frustrated. I mean, they have these high hopes of learning and working in the labs and everything. It's just a total disappointment. And I know personally, like many undergraduate students are having a mental breakdown just because of this. They pay a lot and they just, it's like being in a cage. So thank you for bringing that up, Haley. Well, I would say this whole idea of bringing together all the panelists is itself represents diversity and inclusion. And I'm really grateful to be a part of it. And thank you for, inviting us, and thank you for joining with all the participants for hearing us.